They don't just make you cry and tear up when you cut them. They're also very versatile in kitchens. So today I'm going to teach you about the different onion varieties and what uses they play in cooking. We love using onions in cooking because they're so versatile. They have natural sugars. When they're cooked, they add a nice savory but sweet component to a lot of cooking. They also have natural pectin in them. They can be used as a thickening agent when you're cooking as well. Onions are the basics of a lot of cooking. They're used in stocks. They're used in braises. You hear mirepoix a lot in cooking, where it's 50% onion, 25% carrot, and 25% celery, respectively. They are the base vegetables that were used in recipes for hundreds of years, dating back to the days of Escoffier and a lot of the European chefs. It's just those flavor profiles. They give that earthiness, they give that sweetness, they give that savory flavor. Onions are used raw, they're used cooked, they can be used in pickling in an acidic way, garnishing. You can do sweet with them, you can do marmalades, you can do compotes, you can do onion tarts, you can do onion soup. So onions just have such a versatility that we love to utilize them and celebrate them in various different ways. So starting off to my right, we have the Spanish onion, which is one of the most commonly used savory onions. We have the red onion, which is also used a lot in cooking. We have our lovely white onion, our Vidalia onion, and shallots. Let's start off with Spanish onions. You're going to see this a lot in savory cooking. It's a very popularly used onion in things such as stocks, sauces, braises. It's going to be a larger cut, and you're going to throw it in a pot with some bones and create this amazing veal stock or this amazing chicken stock. Also, French onion soup. The most commonly used onion by a lot of chefs is the Spanish onion. So you're going to see this a lot in the savory world, in a lot of the basics of cooking. So next we have the red onion. You'll find this a lot on the raw side of the culinary world, on burgers. They're sharp, they have an aggressive flavor, but not as sharp and aggressive as the Spanish onion, so you'll see them a little bit more in the raw world. They also have a good color to them if you want to do something like a sweet marmalade. It looks really fun on a plate when you do red onions with some vinegar and some sugar, and you get this really beautiful purple color. So chefs like using them a lot in that sense of the pickled world or the marmalade world or the compote, onion compotes or onion marmalades. So red onion has quite a versatility as well. Moving on to the white onion. It's a great alternative on burgers and in Philly cheesesteaks as well. So white onion is definitely another onion that a lot of chefs use. It's not as intense as a Spanish onion. It's similar flavor-wise to a red onion. It's not as intense. That's why you see it in raw cuisine as well. After the white onion, we have the Vidalia onion. It's a sweeter onion. It's used in tarts. It's used in quiches. It's great for caramelizing as well. Some chefs prefer using Vidalia onions in such things as French onion soup as well as the Spanish onion. So it's kind of up to the personal preference of the chef. But the Vidalia tends to be on the sweeter side. It has a higher sugar content, which is great. And after the Vidalia onion, we have the shallot, which is definitely milder in flavor. You'll see it used with seafood, maybe pickled shallots with some sort of crudo. It's also great in salads, also great for mixing with garlic and sautés. A lot of times you'll see recipes where chefs like to use garlic and shallots toasted when they're building the base for a sauce, or they're serving it with some sort of vegetable to accompany some sort of red meat or poultry product. When you're breaking it down, you would want to cut the root off so you have control over it. It's level on your cutting board. Split it open. Some chefs do the julienne with an onion. Some chefs are using it in slices for burgers or for rings for some sort of garnish. So basically your onion is going to grow like this. You have your root and then your onion and then the top of your onion. Plays the same throughout. You can see the root on all of the onions. Right? Now when you cut into onions, sometimes you'll see green, especially in the red onions. You'll see these green pieces running through the center. That means that the onion is getting old and starting to turn. So you definitely want to, when you purchase your onions, keep them out at room temperature when storing them at the house, but you don't want to let them sit for too long. When you cut into one, then you start to see that green, it's going to give it a bitter flavor and you're going to avoid using them. And it even happens in shallots. So be careful when purchasing your onions. Check to make sure they're nice and firm, not too soft. If you get one at the grocery store that's kind of mush on one side, I would avoid it. as it could lead to some quick spoilage. When you store them together, definitely be careful how much you stack them so they don't smash on each other while sitting in your kitchen. And definitely keep an eye out for that green, because that's going to be bitter and really alter that sweet flavor profile that we love when we cook onions. So that's the overview of one of Chef's favorite ingredients, onions.